Cody with the Clever Investor here. Wanted to pop on real quick. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate that, man. You're so cool too. Wanted to pop on real quick and have a candid conversation with you guys, because yesterday I put out a series of stories, all right? We had over 100,000 views on every single story. And I put out a series of stories talking about, I was doing surveys, and I was asking you guys, what are you willing to give up in order to get what you want out of life, in order to be whatever your definition of successful is? And I asked about, 10 questions or something like that. And I talked about the importance, geez, get off me. I talked about, I'm going over here. I talked about the importance of congruency and really matching your words with your actions. And OMG, I had so many direct messages from people, okay? And it was like 90% like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Thank you for reminding me. I'm ready to crush my goals. And then there was like a portion of people that did what losers do. And if this is one of you, I'm sorry for calling you a loser, but I gotta have a candid conversation with you. And they started saying things like, well, money's not the most important thing in the world. There's more to life than just money. You gotta find a balance in life. It's not just about working and sacrificing everything. You gotta spend time with family. And that's a loser's mindset. And here's why. And I had one girl in particular that hit me up and said, hey buddy, you need to calm down, all right? You need to calm down, because me and my husband, we got a divorce over him having that attitude where he was working all the time and he couldn't find a balance between work and home. And it ruined our marriage. And I sat there and I thought about how I wanted to respond, because, it's hard to respond to a comment like that. First off, I get over 1,000 direct messages a day. So it's hard for me to respond to something like that, because I don't want to come off like an asshole. And I rarely individually respond because there's just too many messages. But this one kind of struck a nerve with me. And I thought about it, and I didn't want to come off like an asshole and say, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more than just him working a lot that caused you guys' divorce. So I wanted to really give her a valid response. And I thought, instead of doing it through a direct message, I'm gonna do it right here. So first off, as an entrepreneur, I just gotta shoot to you straight. There really is no such thing as a work and home life balance. It just doesn't exist. You're either an entrepreneur that's willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals, okay? Or you work a 9-to-5 for somebody else, right? And you barbecue on the weekends, and you coach Little League and you chill out. There's no balance between the two. You're either all in or you're gonna fail as an entrepreneur. And that's just the reality of it, because birthing a business is so freaking hard. Statistically, most people don't succeed, right? Most businesses fail within the first 5 years, and I think it's only like 30% last to year 10. So the odds are stacked against you, and the reason is it's so freaking hard to birth a business. The amount of challenges and hurdles and obstacles are just too big. So here's my recommendation, okay? If we just buy in on day one that there's not gonna be a healthy balance and that something's gotta give, what can we do to make it work? Because couples that are in a relationship where one person's an entrepreneur, unless you're both working in the business together, husband and wife team, something like that, one person's got to step back and sacrifice, okay? They got to sacrifice their ego and be able to sit in second place and realize that that is just the way the relationship's going to be for a period of time. And so here's my best advice. If you are an entrepreneur and you are in another a real relationship, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend, boyfriend-boyfriend, girlfriend-girlfriend, or married, here's my best advice. Sit down up front and have that tough conversation and let them know exactly what you're willing to do in order to achieve your goals. You had goals and dreams before you were married. You got married not to give up all your life's ambitions that you got married or had kids That's not going to stop you from wanting to live out your dreams. Your internal drive is to live life to its fullest, and part of that ambition and your desire is to go off and become a millionaire or a billionaire or hit certain goals. And that's not going to stop just because you got married or had kids. Now, that's going to be a tough conversation, because that essentially is asking the other person to, at times, become second place. And that takes a very strong type of person. For me, I had to find a really strong woman that was willing to allow me to live my life's purpose, while at the same time, I still had to support her and allow her to live her life's purpose. So, in other words, I wasn't looking for happiness in another person. She wasn't looking for happiness from me. She achieved happiness from living her life's purpose, and I achieved happiness from living my life's purpose, and that together we were going to be happier because we both supported each other. Now, how do we do that with as much balance as humanly possible? Well, first off, here's my best advice for entrepreneurs. When you come home from work, okay? When you come home from work, sit in your driveway for 3 to 5 minutes in your car. And as you're role-playing all of the conversations and all the challenges and all the negativity or anything else that you've dealt with that day while at work, I want you to think to yourself, I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna park it in my garage with my car. I'm gonna leave it here in the garage with my car. And when I get out this car here in a few minutes, I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna make my family and my significant other a priority. I'm gonna be positive, I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm gonna say the first words out of my mouth. When she says, how was your day? It's not gonna be like, oh, well, it sucked, man. You know, my boss was a dick, and you know, so-and-so, you know, tried to steal money from me, and that one vendor, he totally screwed up everything, and now I lost the contract, and right? None of that negativity. I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna say, honey, what is that smell? Oh my God, that food smells amazing. I cannot wait to taste whatever you got cooking. This is awesome. By the way, you look beautiful. How was your day? Was it a good day? You know, and I'm just gonna go right into all the positivity. I'm gonna put my phone away, and I'm gonna make them a priority. So that's advice number one. Advice number two is outsource every personal item that gets in the way of you and your significant other's relationship that isn't necessary for you to do, okay? I went out and I hired my wife a personal assistant. We sat down one day and we lined out all of the daily tasks and chores that need to get done to run a family, right? This is a big ass house. It's not, it costs a lot of money, and there's a lot of moving pieces to live a lifestyle like this. I got fucking people that water my plants in my house, right? Because I don't want my wife to stress out about that stuff. Back, you know, now there's Amazon, they deliver and all kinds of shit, but like I had somebody go out and get my groceries. I found a dry cleaning place that comes and picks my shit up right from the house. I have a service that drops food off 2 or 3 times a week. You know, that way we could have fully prepped organic meals. I sat down with her and I said, what are all the chores that you hate freaking doing? Well, I don't like cleaning. I don't want to clean. It's like, that's a big ass house. I don't want to clean. Okay, cool. Let's get a maid to show up a couple times a week. And yes, it's expensive, but what it does is it frees up, okay? It frees up that tension between us and allows us to live a happier relationship. And so I'm willing to work a little harder in order to give her more flexibility. I have a lady come over a couple times a week to do Nam yoga in her backyard because I want my wife zen the fuck out, chilling, happy, because a happy wife is a happy life, right? We've heard that. So you have to make it work. There's no such thing as work-life balance. It's not going to exist. But there's workarounds. Outsourcing, workaround. Leaving your daily BS in the garage before you walk in and becoming present. I found that a strong woman doesn't need much, right? They don't need me to walk in every single day and you know, be the barbecuing, you know, little league coaching, always present husband, right? But when I'm sensing that she needs some energy and some love and some attention, I shut everything the fuck down and I give it all to her. Because those small doses go a really long way. Those love notes go a really long way. Those small gestures go a really freaking long way. And they buy me more time to go back to what I am destined to do, which is my business, right? So I hope this helps, because I wanted to lean in on that lady and say, dude, you and your husband didn't get divorced because he was so, you know, working all the time. He got divorced because you guys probably weren't right for each other. He got divorced because you guys couldn't figure out how to communicate. He got divorced because there was some other bullshit in your relationship that was going on. And that's just the cold, hard facts. And you can blame it on other things. You could be a victim, or you can accept the truth. And the truth is, it's not going to work out the way that you want when two people have different desires and dreams. You got to get in alignment and be okay. Or go find yourself somebody who wants to be a 9-to-5er. Because living with an entrepreneur is not for everybody. It's the hardest gig. As a significant other, it's the hardest freaking thing you're ever going to do. Because I know for me, I don't want to feel like second place. That's a shitty feeling. But that's the reality at times. Because it's short-term sacrifice for long-term gains. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Because your first year or two in the business is gonna suck. It's gonna be freaking awesome. It's gonna be super rewarding. You're gonna learn and grow more than you ever have in your entire life. If you stick with it. Guys, I can't tell you how many painful moments I've had in my businesses. I'm the CEO of multiple companies right now, and I can't even tell you. I like kind of try to like blank them out of my memory. There are so many challenges. Contractors stealing tools and materials from me, or dipping out and just leaving the job site, sleeping on the job. Vendors, you know, ripping me off. Employees stealing from me, suing me. Business relationships falling apart because somebody else is addicted to freaking gambling or porn or alcohol or drugs. I had a contractor one time delete all my credit card data. One of my businesses fell apart overnight. I went from, you know, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in this business to zero overnight. Other people in the industry, I would call them up and I would say, hey, I'm Cody Sperber. I want to come and do some business with you. And they'd laugh at me and hang up because they thought I was a joke because I didn't have a big name in the industry yet. Go down to the foreclosure auction, people laughing at me because I look like I'm 15 years old. Nobody taking me seriously. People hanging up on me time and time again because, you know, I wasn't good at pitching yet. I wasn't good at selling the dream. I wasn't good at my 30-second commercial. I can't even remember all of the guys, people drinking on the job. You know, one lady that worked for me was selling frickin' reptiles on the side out of the business. And, you know, I mean, just crazy shit. Like, things that I can't even, like, remember all the details, but, like, so many hurdles and challenges that if I wasn't blissfully unaware that all of these things were going to happen over the last decade, if I didn't just kind of go into business with this passion and purpose that I was gonna, you know, do all these great things and make all this money, if I knew all the hurdles and challenges that were in the way, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to get up and do it to begin with. But as an entrepreneur, you're blissfully unaware. You just kind of float through the things and deal with them as they come. And if you don't have a strong significant other, or strong support, strong partner, it's not going to work. No matter what. No matter what you want, or how great the sex is, or how good that beginning of that relationship was. The second it gets real tough, because I'm telling you, there was times where my wife at the time when she was my girlfriend, she leaned in and she gave me the ultimatum. Hey Cody, it's been a year. You're not making any money. It's been a freaking year. I've been hearing you talk the talk about how we're gonna make all this money and do all these great things, but it's been a year. Not a couple months, it's been a year. And we're still broke as a joke. Credit card debt is out of control. Nothing is working. I can't be with you if you're gonna not figure this thing out. So if you don't figure it out by X amount of time, you gotta go get a regular job. I've had that ultimatum multiple times in my life, right? But she stuck in there with me and gave me the ability to keep fighting. Cody, when you say enjoy the process and don't focus on the end result, that doesn't mean goals, does it? I mean, when I say enjoy the process, I think that focus is one of the most important things in business, right? So many times we get bogged down in the details of, this is what I mean. So many times we get bogged down in focusing on this end result, right? That we set the bar so high that we forget all the different steps and stages along the way. And the way I think about it is like climbing stairs. You can't go from the bottom stair to the top stair without stepping on a lot of the other stairs. Sure, you can skip one or two, but you're not gonna like jump from the bottom to the top. There's a process involved. And so many times we get so focused on reaching the top that we don't remember to set small, achievable, breakthrough type goals where we celebrate along the way. Because celebration tricks your physiology, which tricks your mindset to enjoying the process. It might not feel good to get hung up on. It might not feel good to get a no, but it's part of the process. You got to go through 99 no's to get one yes. And so many times we get so laser focused that we forget to celebrate along the way. And it's one of the most important things as an entrepreneur. So what I mean is, looking back now 13 years as a businessman, there's been so many great relationships along the way that I didn't fully get to explore because I was so focused on certain things that now that when I look back, I regret them. And the wiser I get and the older I get, the more I'm able to take advantage of those opportunities when I see them present themselves, because I'm more open to them. That's what I mean. How do I know if real estate is for me? Honestly, real estate is one of those cool industries where you can make a lot of money very quickly. It's also one of the toughest industries out there. The reason that you can make so much money is that the barriers to being successful are very high. So once you crack the code, the money is there. But to get into the business, there's very low barriers, right? We call them realtards. Every single moron that wants to make a ton of money jumps into real estate because they think it's going to be so easy, and they see these people like Cody Sperber making millions of dollars, and they're like, oh shit, I'm going to jump in and, within a year, I'm going to be a millionaire. That's not the reality. Real estate's a relationship business, so you have to crack the code on the art of influencing others, art of building rapport, the art of breaking into the good old boys club. When you figure that out, which takes a long time to do, that's when the magic starts happening. So you won't know if real estate's right for you until probably year 2, to be honest with you. Most people quit in the first few months. Right now, there is the highest turnover rate amongst real estate agents in the United States than there ever has been in history. And that's because everybody thinks it's easy, but they come to find out that it takes a lot more energy and effort to be successful in this business. So, but if you feel like it's an interesting industry, then I would dive in and try it for sure, because it's probably, out of every industry I've been involved in, it's definitely the most fun. People keep asking, what about Bitcoin and crypto? I love crypto. I'm more excited about crypto now than I've been in a long time. But, you know, for me, I like crypto because it's new and it's volatile, and it's interesting people, and there's a lot of money-making opportunities right now. There's a lot of arbitrage that can go on. There's a lot of volatility, so I like that. But I only look at crypto as an economic engine, like multiple streams of income. I look at crypto like I look at, you know, stocks or bonds or, you know, any other type of investment that's not real estate. But I still, because I'm a real estate dude, all roads lead back to real estate. If I went out and made $50 million investing in crypto, I would park that money in real estate. I wouldn't leave it in crypto. You know, I'm only in crypto to make money, to put it back into real estate. What's a great buy and hold coin right now? Oh my, dude, there's so many right now. Like a safe buy would be like Monero. Right now it's dipped down. You know, that's an easy one. I have a feeling like a lot of rich people in the future are gonna park their money in Monero and hide it. You know, so like if you could buy Monero for under $250 per coin, I would do it. Wholesale nationwide or fix and flips? I am buying and selling in 5 different states right now, maybe 6. So we're wholesaling in about 5 or 6 different states. So I guess it's not really nationwide. Close though. Is crypto a gamble or a business? I guess it depends on how much you know. I made a lot of money in crypto in the last couple days. You know, when you make $30,000, $40,000 a day in crypto, it feels like a fucking business to me. You know, but you know, it's one of those things where I also have lost 20, 30 grand in a day. So educate yourself. Cody, with your knowledge in business, if you started over again, what would you do? Honestly, I'd do the exact same thing. I love the outcome. The process, not always the most enjoyable, but I always love the outcome. So for me, I would learn the language of real estate. You know, I have followers from all over the world, so I'm gonna lean this towards US real estate real quick, but for me, being in the United States gives us so much opportunity. And you guys have heard me say this before, but when entrepreneurs or business people make excuses, I always feel like, man, I want to send you to like Cambodia for a year and have you try to run a business in Cambodia. To me, that shit would be really, really hard. You know, the average annual income in Cambodia is less than $1,500. So for me, the opportunities here in the US are everywhere. Access to education and information, everywhere. Access to capital, everywhere. Access to talented people, everywhere. Our laws, pro-business. Our taxes, pro-business. Compared to the rest of the world, the opportunities here in the US are everywhere. So you really don't have an excuse. So the reason, to me, why people don't succeed isn't for what they're trying to do or even what they're doing, right? Getting good at what you're doing just takes time, takes the right formula, takes the right mentor. Getting good at what you do and those opportunities to go and do them are everywhere. Where people fail is what they neglect to do. I mean, think about that. You already know the right thing. The answers are already inside all of you. But you're not doing them. You're neglecting to do the tough parts. So I would start a business again as a real estate investor. From day one, I would learn the language of real estate. I would start my business. I would stop making excuses. I would stop neglecting to pick up the phone. I would stop neglecting. Is that like a double negative? Yeah, I guess that works. I would stop neglecting to, you know, go out there and go on those appointments. I wouldn't be scared of what the outcome was going to be. I wouldn't worry about all the what ifs. I would stop worrying about other people's opinions. I would make it a priority to stop neglecting all the tough things, and I would attack them. And even though that sounds easier when you say it than actually doing it, I found that 99% of the what ifs never happen, and the outcome is one of a few things. I either fail miserably, learn an amazing lesson of what not to do, become stronger, or it works and I feel progress, which creates happiness, and I take the next step. Hope that answered your question. So I would do the exact same thing, get into real estate. If you want to get into real estate, grab my free book. It's www.fliphousesbook.com. Can you guys put that in the comments for me? So that way, if anybody is new to this, this is your reward for watching me up to this point. fliphousesbook.com. Clever investor, how do you stay motivated? I'm never not motivated. I think if you need to be motivated, then you haven't found the industry and your life's purpose yet. Like, I'm not a guy that needs motivation. Sure, there are definitely times where I'm PMSing and I'm tired and I don't want to freaking do shit and I'm just lazy. I think everybody has that, but a lot of times, even when those moments occur, I still get up and go and do it because I don't need motivation. My why is extremely big. In the beginning, it was to stop getting evicted and stop getting my lights turned off, and to prove to the world that I was worthy of success, and to prove to my dad that I was worthy of success. And I was young and dumb, and I was blissfully unaware of how hard it was going to be. So, you know, my motivation was money at the beginning and proving other people wrong. And then I had children. And now I stare at my daughter every single day and I say to myself, there is nothing that's going to get in my way of leaving a legacy for them. And it doesn't matter how painful it is. I'll cut my fucking legs off. I'll, you know, walk through fire. I'll do whatever it takes for her. You know, that's real selfless love. And when you have a why like that, and I'll do it for my son too. I don't want to leave him out, but you know, I just want to make a point that when you get that deep of a why, you don't need motivation. You know, they are your motivation. Because I think there's two types of energy. Ones that push you. That's a fear-based energy, right? I'm scared, right? So it pushes you. I'm scared to lose my job, so I'm going to put in the energy today so I do just enough not to lose my job. Or there's ones that pull you. And my daughter and my son pull me towards success. And for me, the push kind is very temporary and the pull kind is eternal. But you won't know until you identify your why. You got to get there first.